and former majority leader Osei Kyei-Mensah-Bonsu has questioned the competence of persons mandated with the establishment of the Gold Board. According to him, people being taxed for the purpose lack competence and work experience to deliver efficiency. He spoke at a public dialogue on the 2025 national budget organized by the Kumasi Bloc Members of Parliament. And Ojima has more in this report.
By the NDC's manifesto promise, the Ghana Gold Board is being established to regulate the small-scale mining sector. The acting CEO of the Precious Minerals and Marketing Company, Same Jemfi, is tasked to lead the formation of the Gold Board. Already, the group has been meeting and soliciting views from players in the mining industry. The former Swami MP, Osei Kyei-Mensah-Bonsu, has lauded the idea but is questioning the competence of persons leading the charge.
It's a good intent that they've expressed. You expect to populate the board with people with demonstrable competencies in commodity training and so on. Okofa obia sabi previous. Onya adwuma bi ada. As a job for the boys. Omezi ka akọ. Yemfa nkọhye sankofo ni nsemu a. If we get it wrong at the very outset, it will be dangerous for us as a country.
The Kumasi dialogue by the parliamentarians was themed assessing the 2025 budget, implications for Kumasi's development and the way forward. Touching on some thematic areas of the budget, the former MP questioned the legality of the allowances to be paid assembly members.
Was it the emoluments of a presiding member of a district assembly and other members of the assembly shall be determined by the district assembly and paid out of the assembly's own resources. That's the constitution they come. It is the president say, "Oh, Kofesika, where is he going to get the money from?" President, it's going to come out of public funds, especially the consolidated fund. But constitution also say, "I know they want to be for Sankoka, now." If any say finance minister say, "Oh, any local government minister, almost say allowance or say salary," that is laughable. I didn't make us say NOS because the constitution defines emoluments to include allowances.
On gender perspective, Mr. Osei Kyei-Mensah-Bonsu says budgetary allocation for the Women's Bank is inadequate.
With the capital requirement for the establishment of banks set at $400 million, which was equivalent to $100 million at the time it was determined. What can 51 million cedis, which is now equivalent to $3.2 million, do for the 17 million women of Ghana? Now, contained in the 51 million is the amount required to establish the bank.
The former MP indicated the economic conditions of the Ashanti region will be improved with proper environmental practices that will reduce galamsey and impact positively on cocoa and timber productions. For Joy News, Nana Ojima, Kumasi.
Right, so let's ask some questions, and let me bring in Dr. Daniel Enim. He is Chief Economist at PIED. And Dr. Enim, good afternoon and welcome to the program. Right, so good to have you here. The former majority leader is, first of all, questioning the competence of some people who are on the Gold Board. The question is, does anyone need special expertise to manage this novelty that government is seeking to roll out to bring in more revenue for the state?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think it is a call in the right direction that people who are appointed to manage public institutions should have the competence and then the capacity to do so. But my view, respectfully, is that looking at the composition and then those who have, it appears they may have a certain level of, experience, a certain level of capacity to be able to direct the affairs of the institution. In respect of the Gold Board, what I will recommend is that professionals should be appointed as, people who will be working with the board and then the CEO, which is very important. So for instance, we need to have experts, people who have the understanding of how marketing of mineral resources advanced, people who are understanding of, international trade and policy should be able to assist should be employed to assist the CEO in terms of the direction of the Gold Board to be able to perform the required function. That is one thing. Now, aside that, we need that commitment from government to be able to ensure that the set objective of the Gold Board, they are allowed to perform in a manner that will yield the necessary result. We all understand, if you take our political history, we have created a lot of vehicles, okay, with the propensity of ensuring that we enhance our natural resources or blocking the loopholes within our public financial system administration. But at the end of the day, political interference and manipulations defeat that very purpose. So as much as I agree that people with the required competence and then the experiences are supposed to drive this particular good, but equally same, government should be able to give those who have been appointed that free room to work and operate as professionals. If that is done, then my view is that the intended objective for establishing the Gold Board could be actualized.
The finance minister, Dr. Kyei-Mensah-Bonsu, is on record saying that an estimated $1.2 billion in gold revenue in 2022 was lost due to illegal smuggling. The illicit outflow of 60 tons of gold came at the peak of the country's economic crisis. Now, we also heard from the Chief Executive Officer of the Precious Minerals Marketing Company, Sami Gyamfi, that when the Gold Board is finally given legal backing, it will be illegal for anyone to sell gold outside the Gold Board. You think that if this is really institutionalized, it will be the game changer in terms of realizing the entire revenue that should come from this particular sector?
Yes, in principle, that is supposed to be so. But in terms of practice, we need to go beyond just ensuring, and that is where the political interferences and manipulation ought to be. Because we could create this system, we could have the law, the legal backing. Politicians will create a gap or a loophole where, proceeds and then a mechanism where they could export gold and other mineral resources outside the jurisdiction for their benefit. So that's the reason which my focus is on the political commitment to ensure that the board and then the executive are given the room to be able to work as professionals, so that at the end of the day, the intended revenue that we'll get from this particular vehicle will inure to the benefit of the country. So I agree, if they have the legal backing and they are able to work very well, we will be able, because I have read some years ago that the data released by Dubai in terms of the gold export was more than what we have captured in our books.
Absolutely. In fact, the former vice president,
this lacuna.
Yes. I was talking about the fact that the former vice president, Dr. Mamadou Bawumia, collaborates this when he met with some authorities from Dubai, and this came to light.
Yes, certainly so. So the point I'm driving at is, look, beyond the legal backing, beyond creating of a Gold Board, the most important thing is that the political manipulation that ought to be taken from that particular space. If that is taken from that space, then my view is that respectfully, they should be able to work in a manner that will inure to the benefit of the country, to improve our revenue, and also even to enhance the local currency, as well as curtail inflationary pressures. So it is a very good initiative on paper, but the implementation, as we know, is we must take politics out of the space, and we must ensure that we are working in the interest of the nation. If that is done, there's a fantastic vehicle, a fantastic idea that will inure to the benefit of the country.
And my final question will be taking out the political interference. If the board is being modeled in the shape of cocoa board, where cocoa beans are solely to be sold to Ghana Cocoa Board. Even with that, we have instances of smuggling to neighboring countries here and there. What can we do to get this right, such that every gold that is mined will end up with the board, apart from the political interference?
I think one of the things we could do is employing technology. Okay, and that's the reason why the former vice president agenda of digitalizing the economy is a very good cause. That my view is that this government must also continue with same. Technology is the way. It doesn't mean that people may not be to the system, but it minimizes whatever human interface and interference and any malfeasance that it may bring about. So technology is the key in putting in the right structures and ensure transparency and accountability. If that mechanism and that internal control mechanism is put in place, then my view that is to be able to work. Look, in this country and the other part of Africa, we do post-audit rather than pre-audit. So you need a pre-audit mechanism, and that is where internal control mechanisms become very important and critical in ensuring that you minimize any opportunity for individuals that may, exploit the system for their personal interest.
All right. Doc, let's leave it here for now. Thank you so much, Dr. Your name is Chief Economist, PIED. And let's